Hello. In this video, we're going to look at demand and demand planning, which basically we're going to look at it as it relates to balancing supply and demand when we're looking at forecasting, visibility, and volatility. So let's start with what is demand planning, give you some definitions first, as well as what is effective demand planning. So demand basically refers to the quantity of a product or service that consumers are willing and able to purchase at any given price and time. Demand planning involves forecasting future demand for a product or service and developing a strategy to meet that demand while balancing supply. So those are our first two here. Forecasting now, if we look at the third item here, it's a critical component of demand planning as it involves analyzing historical sales data, market trends, and any other relevant factors to predict future demand. Let's jump then over to visibility. Visibility refers to the ability to track and monitor demand in real time, allowing companies to quickly adjust their production or inventory levels as they're needed with the chance to look out in front of them. And lastly, looking at volatility, volatility refers to the unpredictability of demand, which can be influenced by factors such as seasonality, changing consumer preferences, unexpected events like natural disasters or pandemics, for example. So these are some basic definitions of the things involved and the elements involved in demand planning. Now let's answer that question finally down here that says, okay, what is effective demand planning? Well, what it basically means is it requires companies, or we're asking companies, to balance supply and demand by accurately predicting future demand, maintaining the correct and adequate inventory levels, and adjusting production and distribution strategies in response to changes in demand. So that's basically what we're looking at for what is demand planning. So let's move over now to why demand planning is important. So we've got these 5 bullet points. Demand planning helps companies to align their production and inventory levels, and it allows us to align them with expected customer demand, which of course can reduce waste and optimize resources. Secondly, accurate demand forecasting can help companies avoid stockouts or overstocks, which can lead to lost sales or excess inventory costs. Thirdly, improving the visibility into demand can help companies make more informed and better decisions about production and inventory management, thereby reducing the risk of shortages or excess inventory. Fourth, if we can improve the visibility into the demand, if we can reduce the volatility in demand, we can create significant challenges for businesses, particularly in industries with long lead times or complex supply chains. Effective demand planning can help companies respond more quickly and effectively to unexpected changes in demand. And lastly, if we can think in terms of balancing supply and demand through demand planning, companies can reduce the cost and complexity of managing their supply chains while improving customer satisfaction and ensuring that products are available when and where they are needed. So if we do demand planning well, we get those benefits. And finally, looking at, what's the impact of demand planning? We're going to look at it positively, and then if we do it poorly, what are some of those negative consequences for that? So first off, more accurate demand forecasting and demand planning can improve customer satisfaction by ensuring that products are available when and where they're needed. Secondly, effective demand planning can help companies optimize their production and inventory levels, and that'll reduce waste and improve operational efficiency. Third, under the positive, is if we can get improved visibility into demand, it can help companies identify trends and respond more quickly to changing customer needs, gaining a competitive advantage. And lastly, a fourth one here, balancing supply and demand through demand planning can help companies reduce costs and improve profitability by avoiding stockouts or excess inventory. Now, on the negative side, if we don't do it well, we run into some of these here as well. Poor demand planning, if we look at it, can lead to stockouts or excess inventory, of course, and that can increase costs and reduce customer satisfaction. Secondly, if we have inaccurate demand forecasting, that can lead to overproduction, which will result in excess inventory and waste. Third, volatility part of demand planning, if we don't do it well, can create significant challenges for businesses, particularly in industries with long lead times or complex supply chains, which can lead to missed sales, opportunities, or excess inventory costs. And lastly, if we don't do it well, we're going to end up with an over-reliance on demand planning, thinking everything's okay. And if we don't do it well, it's going to create a risk of complacency. It can cause companies to miss opportunities or fail to adapt to changing market conditions. So when you look at demand and demand planning, we've got 4 or 5 different areas we've got to look at, but we also have to understand what it is, why it's important, and what impact it can have on us as a company, as well as our supply chain. Thank you.